Hi everyone, so I just want to do an update on the TV. So I had a few messages about the TV we bought. So we bought the 24-inch 12 volt slash 240 volt TV from Officeworks for around the 180 mark. So that's the brand. Okay, we used it on our last trip down to Kangaroo Valley in the free camp area, and there's very limited internet and phone calls down there at all, so we used our Starlink. So it came with the 240 plug. I'll have to show you these straps that we use. They are so good. I'll have to find them. And carried labels every cable, so we know exactly what they're all for. So that's the 240 volt one that comes with the TV, so we can plug that into our power point if we're on a powered site, and we can also plug it into our power point inside the van, and we've got a power point on the outside of the van, and we can link it up to our inverter. We've got a 3000 watt inverter, we've got heaps of battery power, so we can run this off the van, off grid, not a problem at all. Not that we would use that one very often, because we have the 12 volt socket, which we use that on the weekend just to test it all out, and that works fine. It's not a huge cable, and when we use the 12 volt in the van, obviously the TV sits here on the fridge, which I'll explain that to you in a minute, and our 12 volt socket is just over here. So we went to J-Car and bought an adapter. They only had the long side. I can't think how long it was, but it's obviously too long, but we just keep it wrapped up and just let a little bit of the cable out, and that works fine. Just plug it into there. That way, if we want to put the TV outside and the table, we've got heaps of cable length. Now, we've obviously got too much cable length, but that's fine. So we've got those. So those two obviously come with the TV. That one we purchased at J-Car. It wasn't expensive. It was under $20. It was pretty cheap. And then also what we tested, we have an iTech World JS80, which we've had for a little while now, maybe 2 years, maybe a year, I'm not too sure, which is a jump starter slash battery pack, which this can run a fridge for quite a while, all that sort of stuff. Obviously we use it mainly just as a jump starter if that's what we need to use it for. And it comes with various cables, and one of the cables it comes with is a 12 volt adapter that you can plug in, and then you can put your 12 volt socket in there. So we tested this on the weekend, not on the weekend, on the other night, when we were watching a bit of YouTube at the campground. And we had the TV on for about an hour and a half, or maybe not quite an hour and a half, probably, it was over an hour, but maybe not an hour and a half. And we just run it off this. We didn't actually plug it into 12 volt after we tested it all, and it worked fine. That way, if we want to put it outside, we don't have any cables hanging around, we can just put this next to the TV, and it was fine. And when after we had it on for the hour and a bit, probably close to, I still think it was close to an hour and a half, and I checked the battery on this, and it was still saying 100%. I haven't recharged this since we've been home, and all the lights are still showing 100%. I tried to do a bit of research on this to see how long it would run a 12 volt TV, and it wasn't a lot of information out there, but from what I can work out, because this TV doesn't use much power at all, not much at all. So I think I'll get around the 4-5 hours of this, maybe even longer, I reckon. So not that it'll be hard to do a test because we don't have the TV on for that long. But like I said, we only watch a bit of YouTube on at night, and then if we do some live videos with our kids and grandkids, we can bring it up on the big screen and watch them. And obviously we connect it to Starlink when we travel too. But yeah, no, so it's worked good so far. Now obviously it's the cheaper 12 volt TV, and you can even get cheaper than what we paid. Like I said in the previous video, we just bought it from Officeworks because it's 2 minutes down the road. I just walked there and walked back home. I think Big W were a little bit cheaper. They might have been in the 160s, 170s. And then obviously you can go to other brands which are a bit more expensive, and maybe the TVs are a bit better made, maybe a bit better built and stuff like that for traveling. This one is so light. It's 2 kilos. It's ridiculous light. But yeah, so what we do, we have a table that we put on top of the fridge, and then we put the TV on top of the fridge, on top of the table I should say, just so it lifts it up quite high, so when we get back at the bed, it was a perfect eye level. We weren't looking down, we weren't looking too high up, it was just worked out really good. The table was a good height. But yeah, so when we use it in the van, it'll sit on the fridge and just up high on the table, and then if we're outside, we'll use the power pack maybe, just so we're not having cables running around the place. And depending on what trip we're doing and how long we're away will depend on how often we use this, because obviously I don't want to run this dry and I need to jump start the car or something, the van. So yeah, so it's not something we're going to be using all the time, but it's good to know that that works, and we should get quite a few hours out of it too. Like I was running the TV, our fridge and freezer, 75 litre, the Starlink, charging our phones, and we were using, I don't know, 8 amps. It was ridiculous low. I was quite shocked. And that was, we had the Starlink on quite a bit. I wouldn't say quite a bit, but we used the Starlink during the day. Then at night we had it on for a while. Even after we turned the TV off, I was on my phone for a while doing stuff. And obviously we've got a big battery system. But the next morning I woke up after doing all that, and the battery was still like 96%. So that was really good. Yeah. So just thought I'd show you the TV. Like I said, 24-inch, just from Office Works. It's just a cheap one. Whether it's going to last a long time, I don't know about that, but for the amount of times that we're going to be using it, I think that's fine. We're not someone that goes to a campground and watch TV all day, but not to say that if you have a really wet day and it's raining like hell and we've got nothing else to do, maybe we will. We have got all the apps on there, Netflix and all those apps, YouTube's on there. I've got the 7, 9 and 10 apps on there, and I can download the SBS and ABC ones if I really want to. And plus it comes with all the apps. So yeah, so that worked out good. At least we know that worked. It worked off Starlink. Starlink was good to have, especially at Bandila Campground at Kangaroo Valley, because you literally have no reception there. But yeah, it's good to test things out, see what we can do and what you need to buy. But we have all the cables we need and all this stuff. All these cables I keep in the Starlink case all the time, but they all fit in there with the Starlink cables, the case that we bought. And I'll do a separate video on that and show you the case. But yeah, just thought I'd run that through. If you have any questions, if I've missed something or I've said something wrong, just let me know and I'll explain it to you. Yeah, so we'll just leave it on the fridge and watch it on the table. We're not going to bracket to a wall or the roof or nothing like that. We don't want to do any of that. And when we're traveling, we'll just sit this on the bed underneath our doonas. And that's what we did the last day or so, and it was fine. It didn't move, didn't do anything. Yeah, so I just thought I'd show you that. Bye.